Hello once again. Here are my two Caledonian Railways locomotives, my little Pug tank engine and my recently acquired beautiful 812. I did some work on my little saddle tank engine. You can see I've got a couple of drivers in here, and the tender that I added on to give it extra connectivity, I've modified the coupling to bring it closer. I've put in a couple of little plates. These are just cut out from cardboard and painted, and I cut a slot out of the tender, and I've kind of dry brushed some black paint around the tender just to make it look a bit more used, and I think that looks quite good. So I have a couple of spare crew members here, so we're going to get these painted up and install them into the cab of the 812. I'll need to do that carefully because I don't want to hide the glowing firebox, so they'll need to be put in very carefully. So we'll get these guys to the bench, get them painted up, and we'll take the 812 and get them installed. Okay, so before I start on the 812, I'll just give you a closer look of what I did with the coupling on this little Pug. So I took the hooks away, and this part of this coupling I cut, and then I've soldered it, so this coupling is a lot smaller. I don't know if you can see there, but I've soldered it there and there. And the tender and the locomotive are just coupled by the wire. So the wire goes up and it's super glued in place there, and it's tracked in here, so it can't really pull apart. And that works really well. And I think my little cardboard plates make a real difference, and the cutout in the tender there. I've also got crew in my J36, the same crew, the same guys in the Pug and the J36, and it'll be the same guys that go in the 812. So these are the Hornby crew members. I think it was Peter, chap called Peter sent me these last year. I mean, they're nice little figures, but this little chap here with his shovel will not really fit into the cab, so we have to break the top of the shovel off. I had to do it with the J36 and the Pug as well. So he's going to lose the top of his shovel. And this little guy, I don't know why they give him a seat, because most locomotives have the little seats either side. So yeah, I suppose you stick him in a tank engine on his own maybe, but no. So what I had to do with the J36, and what I'm going to have to do with this one, is cut this away and also cut one of his legs off so he can actually sit properly inside the locomotive. So first of all, we can get rid of his shovel. That's easy done. I want to get rid of his seat and one of his legs. Right, this isn't for the faint-hearted really, because I'm going to be very close to my fingers. I dare say there's better figures out there in the market somewhere, but these are the ones I've got, so I'll just make do. Right, okay, so I don't know how well you can see, but I've cut the seat away and cut the bottom half of his left leg off. So he should now, let's just see, sit on the left here. Quite nicely. Yeah, he'll sit there fine. Okie dokie, let's get painting. Get the helping hands, and we'll get this guy in place by his stand, like so. Just put him in by his foot. So in my Pug and my J36, the crew are all in blue overalls. So I think in the 812 I'm going to do one guy in blue and one in brown, just for a bit of a change. Just a blob of paint on a piece of card there. It doesn't take much, and I'm not using a particularly small brush. It's quite good to almost dry brush the blue on. You don't want to cake it on. I'm not being too particular because, he's stuck inside the locomotive cab, you don't really see them. These helping hand things are absolutely brilliant for doing this. So don't just use them for soldering, but if you're doing a bit of painting like this, they're great. I mean, if you're being really particular about this, you know, you would give them a blast of undercoat, but I don't really think it's worth it. It looks fine actually. A wee touch of flesh colour paint. I mean, you're never going to see this because he's going to be stuck in the cab, but that'll do. They don't have to be perfect. So there we go, that's my 2 crew members painted up. A bit rough, but you know, I'm not going to spend time going into great detail painting something that's hardly going to get seen. You know, it's stuck away in the cab of the locomotive. So we'll let them dry, and once they're dry, we will stick them into the cab. Now to stick them in, now this is something I thought a lot about, because in my Pug and my J36 I've glued them in with Yoo-hoo. But even though I'm probably never ever going to take them out, I don't like the idea of gluing something into a locomotive. And you know, my nice new Caledonian 812, I don't want to glue these guys into it. So I found this stuff, BlackTack, or Tack Black, whatever you want to call it. And basically it's black blue tack, essentially. Let's peel this back. So you can just take a little bit off, and it's stickier than blue tack actually, but kind of works the same way. It's just like a putty, and I think a tiny wee piece of that will stick those crew members into the cab nicely. And it may have other uses, this stuff. I'd never heard of it before, but I think this could be jolly useful stuff. I'm even thinking as a temporary fix for the problem with this tender on the 812, this notorious, apparently, that, you know, Bachmann are well known for this. I'd never come across this before, but this drawbar just comes disconnected from the tender so easily, and it's a bit of a fiddle to get it back on. So I'm actually thinking that a little blob of that BlackTack stuff on the peg there might just keep that on until I get something better. So I think we'll give it a go, because this is removable. It's just like blue tack, as I say, but it's just a bit stickier. Look at it, it's like chewing gum almost. No black comes off in your fingers, which is good. So if I can get this damn thing hooked on again, can I get a blob of this stuff on there just to keep it? There we go, a little blob of that BlackTack, and the tender isn't falling off. We'll put this coal back in. I am going to make a replacement coal insert for this at some point, I think. But there we go. Right, okay, that keeps that secure. So a tiny piece of this BlackTack on the driver's posterior. Put another wee piece of BlackTack on the stand of that guy there. Right, okay, so these are now ready to fit into the cab. So we shall fit the driver in. About right. Let's see if we can just turn them around a wee bit. And then this guy, just get him as far to the other side as I can, like that. Because I really want him right inside, because otherwise his rear foot is on that plate and causes it to to push down. So this guy doesn't fit, and the way he's posed, he's taking up an awful lot of space. I mean, his shovel was coming out to here, but even cutting that off, he still won't fully go in the cab, and his foot is resting on the plate at the back there, which pushes it down. So what I'm going to have to do is be a bit more drastic and cut his hand off, and maybe his foot. I'm going to do that with these wire snippers actually. Right, let's see if he goes in now. That's better. So you'll fit at that. Have to bend his back leg. Right, where's that BlackTack? Okay. In you go, son. Right, he is in, but I don't really like the position he's in. So take him out again. And this time, what a carry on this is, honestly. I'm going to cut his right foot off. Okay, there we go. We have crew. It's a bit of a squeeze in there, but there we go. Right, okay, and yeah, that BlackTack has held that coupling on, so excellent. So I recommend using this stuff, Tack Black. You can get it on Amazon. It says it was developed for the movie industry to fix cameras and props. The secret is now out for everyone to use, but really useful stuff, I think, for just, temporarily sticking something. And because it's black, it doesn't show up. I've stuck my crew in there and it doesn't really show up, and stuck a blob on to secure that drawbar, and it's not unsightly. So I think this will be very useful stuff. Righto, we're done. Let's get this on the lathe and give it a run. Okay folks, catch yous later.